Welcome to my first compilation of SpongeBob lore content to fall asleep to. I hope you will enjoy the spatial atmosphere of my videos, and my calm voice will make you fall asleep as fast as possible. Without further ado, let's dive deep into SpongeBob lore content. One of the things I like about classical SpongeBob is episodes like Squidville. They not only display significant socio-philosophical problems, but also allows us to enjoy and explore new locations, and Tentacle Acres is one of them. It's a single shown place near the Bikini Bottom, appearing only in the episode with the same name. So let's try to discover such a unique place with its help. If you don't know the lore, Squidward is tired of living next to the SpongeBob and Patrick and decides to move to the place of his dream.
SpongeBob, this is the final straw. I am going to move so far away that I will be able to brag about it.
From the first image, we can see that this place is highly secured to make sure that no sponges, starfish or any other creature enters the place. Before going to the neighborhood, you must pass the test by answering simple questions to the local security.
Are you now or have you ever been a sponge?
No.
What about it?
No starfish, just a regular, normal, peace-loving.
After opening the gigantic golden gates, we see a large city mainly consisting of the same houses in which Squidward lives. It turns out that every house in this town has its own number, and by looking at Squidward's number, we can understand that it has over 300 unique buildings placed in a few rows.
304, beautiful, and not a pineapple inside.
It's interesting to find out that the interior of his new home is almost the same as in Bikini Bottom, with the only difference being a painting on the wall, which is absent in some other episodes or has another image inside the frame. As we can see from the modern image, Squidville has at least 6 different living streets inside, with gates almost as high as the local houses. So here is the first commercial building of the city, a food store called the Full of Health, where you can purchase healthy food such as canned bread. I don't know how healthy is that, but Squidward really enjoys it.
Intensive. I'll bet they won't have... Wow, they have it! Canned bread! This town is great!
In front of the store, we see a dance academy building, which is one of the places he uses to visit the most.
I would really be impressed if it had an interpretive dance academy.
His group consists of 15 different octopuses, both males and females.
Yeah, it's even better in a group.
After visiting a dancing club, we discovered a new place across from the food store. Here, a small club gathers to play clarinet or listen to the musicians.
A clarinet trio!
Squidville looks amazing and is much more organized than the streets of the Bikini Bottom. However, this paradise lasted only a few weeks, as Squidward got fed up with his new daily routine, which didn't include SpongeBob, Krusty Krab, and Patrick.
Going on out here?
We're playing with our new reef blowers.
Playing with a reef blower? That is the most childish thing I've ever heard of.
But it's fun.
We can see him sitting in the park on a single bench. It also has some locations to play sports game or ride a bike. At the center of it is a small fountain, made in a classical style.
Yep, this is great. We might as well rename this town Squidward's Paradise. Or perhaps Too Much Paradise. Looks like when it comes to having fun, you don't have a leg to stand on.
Another episode location is Le Café, where you can purchase fast-made coffee and cookies.
At you, boys.
When SpongeBob and Patrick come to apologize to Squidward, we can see that they were viewed from cameras in the police department. At least 2 police officers are responsible for entering new citizens or visitors. It's interesting to find out that a single button opens the gate, meaning the real level of the security isn't so high.
Hello, can I help you?
Can I get a large number 1 extra size?
But you just ate 3 orders of fried oyster skins.
I love fried oyster skins.
And starfish like Patrick can easily enter it by eating fried oyster skins.
He's not leaving Orville. You got your nightstick ready? Fried oyster skins! Oh.
There is one more mysterious location in the Tentacle Acres. It's a rectangle-shaped dead end, where Squidward went after being chased by local citizens and a police officer.
Hold it right there, Mr. Tentacles.
When SpongeBob and Patrick finally found him, we can see that it's located near a shop right next to the city wall.
Patrick, look! It's Squidward! Squidward, we finally found you!
Get off me! I'm not Squidward.
Are you Squidward now?
It's also the place with one of my favorite jokes in Season 2.
Are you Squidward?
No.
Are you Squidward? That's okay, take your time.
I also found a deleted location from the episode. It's a coffee shop where Squidward used to drink a cup of coffee every day, thanks to maximized animation for restoring a deleted scene.
Oh look, everybody's on their bike today. It just gets better and better, all together.
To summarize, Squidville is a small town with a population of about 1,000 individuals. It has a food store, a few places to spend the free time, and even a small coffee shop with a few tables and spots to drink a cup of coffee with friends or family. It is still a huge mystery to me how Squidville remained only a story from the past, as such an interesting location was never mentioned after that. Even Rock Bottom was mentioned a few times, but not Squidville.
Well, we know one thing. It sure isn't that guy.
Anyway, thanks to Abe for inspiring me to make such an interesting SpongeBob content. He creates atmospheric and unique videos, giving the vibe of the original SpongeBob episode in every video. I definitely recommend you to check out one of his videos. For me, Squidville remains one of the best episodes of SpongeBob I have ever watched. It's really interesting to compare your imagination of the life of your dreams with the reality. Yet, the philosophical meaning of the episode is left for another video. SpongeBob SquarePants is definitely a huge part of my childhood, as I spent hundreds or even thousands of hours watching various seasons and episodes. I even had a backpack with the main characters, which I used to take to a kindergarten. The classical era of SpongeBob is for sure the best part of the entire series, but I do want to split the first, second and third seasons, as each of them had its own atmosphere. Among the 3 seasons of the Golden Era, the first one is my favorite. It's not because of the nostalgia, but rather because it feels like an authentic SpongeBob. So let me explain. The entire vibe of the first season of SpongeBob is built around the fact that all actions take place underwater. In numerous episodes, we can feel this by taking different aspects of the show. For example, in the second episode, we see the draining of the entire ocean using the reef blower, reminding us that no one can live without water in Bikini Bottom. Another episode tells us a story about dangerous hooks that can turn you into a tuna can.
Happens when you don't float back down?
Gift shop?
Worse!
you end up vacuum-packed in a can of tuna.
It sounds too simple to be an idea for the entire episode, but Steven Hillenburg and his team turned it into one of the greatest and most memorable episodes of the entire show.
I sense no danger here. How could they be dangerous? They're covered with free cheese! Go on, try it!
But Mr. Krabs said...
SpongeBob, let me ask you something. Does this look dangerous?
Oh, do you remember Rock Bottom? It was a perfect idea to describe the bottom of the ocean with its low temperatures and no sunlight.
But sir, we need to get back to Bikini Bottom.
Oh well.
Where is this SpongeBob?
Rock Bottom provides an amazing atmosphere for such a place, so you want to escape it as fast as possible.
I don't like it here. It's dark and scary. I don't want to be here. I want to go home.
Only Steven Hillenburg could create such a place with his deep knowledge of marine biology. He perfectly combined all the previously mentioned factors in one place, once again reminding us that Bikini Bottom isn't the deepest part of the ocean, and some unique and scary places lie at the bottom of it.
Ah, home at last.
Don't worry, SpongeBob, I'm coming back for you.
I can provide you some more examples, like Tea at the Tree Dome, in which SpongeBob meets Sandy for the first time and she invites him to visit her place, not realizing he needs water to live.
I'm okay.
You know, you're the first sea critter to ever visit.
I can't imagine why.
I can name you some more examples like Texas or Ark, but there is no point in doing that. The entire season is closely tied to the fact that the show is going underwater, giving us unique emotions, experiences, and sometimes even knowledge.
Air is not good, Patrick. Air is not good.
You're just being shy.
None of the other seasons has this underwater vibe, and with each season, the show turned into a regular cartoon where water doesn't make any sense. Next, I want to talk about music. It was a peak of musical abundance, with some episodes having their own unique tracks. Music plays a significant role in the entire atmosphere, as each composition can provide happy or sad emotions for the same part of the episode. It was a peak of the show's Hawaiian atmosphere, providing a calm and relaxing feeling in most episodes.
Wow. Squidward, this is the best souffle you have ever created.
You won't find anything comparable to this in the modern SpongeBob. Of course, some of the Hawaiian aesthetics were saved in the second and third seasons, but the focus has slowly shifted away from a Hawaiian underwater show to just a regular cartoon we know today that doesn't have any connection to Hawaii or its vibe. It's really sad to say that, as many great compositions were abandoned after the third season. They were just substituted with music that has no soul or connection to the show. I mean, SpongeBob was always associated with the music from the first few seasons, and I can't imagine watching it without them. It perfectly complemented everything we saw on the screen of the first season because the show was really slow and simple, just like in my favorite episode, where SpongeBob and Patrick are playing outside and blowing bubbles.
Good morning to you, sir. Would you care to blow a bubble?
Oh, how much is it?
Only a quarter.
Sounds reasonable.
Another feature that makes it special for me is the drawing style. The colors aren't so bright and saturated, and the characters look a bit different from what we see in Season 2.
Excuse me, sir, but we are closed.
Don't give me any of that. How can you two possibly make all this noise just blowing bubbles?
Patrick, that's a pickle.
Yes.
You need a jar. No. No.
My favorite part of the old art style is the background, especially the sky, flowers and corals. We can see a huge dedication to them and more attention to the little details. The unsaturated art style and the whole atmosphere gives me some complicated emotions. It's not depressing, it's not sad, but for sure it provides melancholic emotions, some kind of loneliness, and toska, a Russian word that can't be translated into English, but perfectly describes the entire atmosphere.
The gang's all here. Oh!
When I look at the iconic Conch Street from Season 1, I feel great nostalgia, as some of my favorite episodes took place on this street. I like that the vast majority of the episodes took place here, near the houses of the main characters.
Hike, Patrick, hike! You just lost 3 points.
Season 1 didn't have lots of different locations, but it could create an interesting episode using only 1 or 2 places without adding lots of useless characters to the show. Everything was so logical and simple.
G7!
G7? Kick me! Kick me! I lose!
The show was minimalistic and I liked it a lot. The entire episode could be dedicated to blowing bubbles or sorrowing Squidward the unfriendly ghost. Producers didn't need to use many locations to engage young viewers, but instead gave them unique experiences in familiar places everyone liked.
I feel needy. Slaves, fetcheth me some nourishment.
Only the freshest, oh spooky one.
And even if some places were added to the show, they were great and iconic.
Bargain Mart, meeting all your spatula needs. Do 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 do. Spatula, spatula, port and starboard attachment.
Don't you find it interesting that a major part of the show's most popular episodes are from Season 1? You can literally build a channel around discussing only the first season of the show. Videos about SB129 gathered millions of views on YouTube, and many people still try to create new theories about the episodes that were uploaded over 25 years ago. Season 1 is about simplicity over complexity. A masterpiece is created by combining simple scenes, and Season 1 of SpongeBob SquarePants did it perfectly.
Welcome home, Squidward!
Merry Christmas!
We're gonna make this your best day ever!
The plot of each episode is perfectly written while being as simple as 2 + 2. It doesn't tell you where to laugh or what scenes you should enjoy. This cartoon was built for audiences of different ages, and everyone could find their own scenes to enjoy or laugh at.
Winner! Yeah! High score!
Hey, Patrick, what game was that anyway?
I don't know, but let's see what this does.
It also raised some important philosophical questions in the episodes SB129 and Texas.
Where's the time machine? Where is anything? Where?
This SpongeBob tried to teach kids good morality and gave some good life lessons in the episodes Ripped Pants and Muscle Bob Buff Pants.
Your song is true. If y'all want to be my friend, just be yourself.
In one of my previous videos, I suggested that we can describe each season of the show only by looking at Patrick and his character. Therefore, we should begin with his characteristics. Patrick from Season 1 is a very complex character with lots of good traits. In the first episode of the show, we see him as a supportive friend of SpongeBob, who doesn't let him go away from his dream of working at the Krusty Krabs.
Patrick!
Where do you think you're going?
I was just...
No, you're not. You're going to the Krusty Krab and get that job!
I don't think that modern Patrick can say something like that. In Season 1, he acts like a real friend of SpongeBob and not just a buddy or pal with whom you can spend some free time.
And who's a big yellow cube with holes?
I am!
Who's ready?
I'm ready!
Who's ready?
I'm ready!
Who's ready?
I'm ready!
Of course, he doesn't act like that in every single episode, but that wasn't the only case of such an action.
That's just fancy talk. If you want to be fancy, hold your pinky up like this. The higher you hold it, the fancier you are.
Patrick also tried to help him to become friends with Sandy. SpongeBob couldn't understand his voice advice, but Patrick told him some good things.
How's that?
Higher.
Like that?
Now that's fancy. They should call you SpongeBob Fancy Pants.
I can also describe Patrick as a very calm character. Just look at this scene from episode Ark, where they play a treasure board game with Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob.
Rich! Look, Patrick! 8 gold doubloon!
All right, lads. Looks like you've shanghaied me. My turn. 5.
Patrick was literally a synonym of words like chill, Hakuna Matata, and coziness. There was no fast pace in his movements, just a chill and a bit stupid vibe, and nothing more than that.
I just met this girl. She wears a hat full of air.
Do you mean she puts on airs?
I guess so.
Moreover, his stupidity wasn't the main trait of his character. Of course, it was a major part of his character, but it wasn't brought to the point of absurdity when it wasn't even funny.
How do you think we get inside?
We don't. We're just bring the windows.
I opened it, SpongeBob! Come on!
Patrick was just a bit dumber than SpongeBob, sometimes creating memorable moments.
Hey, SpongeBob, what's this?
Hey, you got your toothpaste in my peanut butter.
Yet, it wasn't Patrick's peak in the case of humor. He is still a funny character in Season 1, but jokes from Season 2 and 3 are more hilarious. However, let me show you my favorite moments with him from the first season.
Okay, get in.
Are you crazy? I'm not getting in that thing.
But you said we could put you to rest.
I didn't say anything like that.
It's a giraffe!
Poor illness.
One watermelon fresh from the manure field. Your spookiness?
Oh, and of course, it was a season of Petron. Did somebody say jellyfishing?
Jellyfishing!
Somebody say jellyfishing?
Hi, Patron.
It's always difficult to begin something, especially a cartoon series. The first episodes require a special dedication because you have to excite an unfamiliar audience with your drawing, script and characters. It was the thing that classical SpongeBob did better than anyone else. I think the first episode of it is one of the best cartoon introductions I have ever seen. Everything just feels so right with the episode Help Wanted that it's hard to imagine a better beginning. So let's try to discover such a unique part of SpongeBob SquarePants from a new perspective.
Ah, the sea. So fascinating. So wonderful. Here we see Bikini Bottom.
The episode starts with an image of a bikini bottom accompanied by calm Hawaiian music. It gives such a warm and calm feeling that it's hard to compare it with any other episode.
Home of one of my favorite creatures, SpongeBob SquarePants. Yes, of course he lives in a pineapple, you silly.
It's really interesting to look at this picture of the conch street because it has some elements that are never seen again after this episode, like the rocks in front of the SpongeBob's house and sticks behind Squidward's house, which was probably supposed to be the backyard. I always find these drawings and even says perfect for the episode's atmosphere. Remember that perfection lies in imperfections. Here is another forgotten detail from season 1. It's SpongeBob's pet. No, it's not Gary, who is famously known and appears in many episodes. I want to talk about this tiny clam in a cage. We can see it throughout the show's first season, but it never had a role. It was more like a part of the interior rather than a pet.
Today's the big day, Gary.
Another feature of season 1 is a color specter. Compared even to season 2, the drawings were less saturated and had a bluish picture tone.
Gotta be in top physical condition for today, Gary.
I didn't realize before watching the episode, but SpongeBob's home gym was also located in the other room with a locker behind him. In the next episodes, he exercises only in the living room. Another great concept was lost for a long time.
I'm ready! I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready.
In this scene, the pineapple looks a bit unfamiliar, but still good enough.
I'm ready, I'm ready.
Go, SpongeBob!
I really enjoyed Patrick's character in the first episode, as we see him not only as a dumb friend to SpongeBob, but also a great supporter and advisor who helps him make needed decisions. Patrick was a really cool character in the first few seasons.
The finest eating establishment ever established for eating. The Krusty Krab, home of the Krabby Patty, with a help wanted sign in the window.
This is one of my favorite Krusty Krab's arts of all time. A bright picture, but not too bright, with a great art style, a shiny sunrise, and a chill vibe. It gives me emotions with which I always associated this restaurant.
For years I've been dreaming of this moment. I'm gonna go in there, march straight to the manager, look him straight in the eye.
This is what the perfect beginning of the day looks like.
Can't do this! Patrick!
Where do you think you're going?
I was just...
No, you're not. You're going to the Krusty Krab and get that job!
When SpongeBob wants to quit, Patrick once again helps him to get the job.
I'm not good enough!
Whose first words were, "May I take your order"?
Mine were.
Who made a spatula out of toothpicks and woodchuck?
I did.
I told you he's a good friend.
And who's a big yellow cube with holes?
I am!
Who's ready?
I'm ready!
Who's ready?
I'm ready!
Squidward isn't glad to see SpongeBob trying to get a job in his workplace. However, in the depths of his soul, he was glad to see his neighbor.
I'm
Oh,
ready!
no, SpongeBob. What could he possibly want?
Go SpongeBob! Go SpongeBob! Go Self! Ah!
If you take a closer look at this picture, you can see that the background of Krusty Krab's is really empty. There is no boat, no cabinets, not even a place where Mr. Krabs stores some different stuff.
So, when do I start?
Well, lad, it looks like you don't even have your sea legs.
Mr. Krabs, please, I'll prove I'm fry cook material.
However, the hydrodynamic spatula with port and starboard attachments and turbo drive was really crazy. It was so hard to pronounce it, especially for not a native speaker.
Hydrodynamic spatula with, port and starboard attachments and, turbo drive.
The arrival of the anchovies raises a few questions. So, who cooked Krabby Patties before SpongeBob, and why can't Mr. Krabs do that? He is the founder of the recipe and the restaurant, so he should know how to do that.
Bargain Mart, meeting all your spatula needs.
I never realized that, but Bargain Mart is one of the very first locations we see in the show.
Spatula, spatula, port and starboard attachments.
Did you know that Bargain Mart used one of the background images to create the interior? In this frame, we can see that the walls in the supermarket are painted with the show's pattern. It also gives an amazing chill vibe to the place.
Did someone order a spatula?
Oh, and the spatula was a cool one.
Bob's
night, loving in the moonlight, having a wonderful time. Just take it from me, I'm just as free as any daughter.
Interestingly, SpongeBob's kitchen was way smaller than in the further episodes. Also, it didn't have a door to the Mr. Krabs cabinet, and there was no refrigerator to store patties.
Alright.
Hip hip!
Alright, Mr. Krabs.
I'll be in my quarters, counting out the booty.
When Mr. Krabs got all the money from anchovies, he was walking opposite to his cabinet, to where the toilet is located in the future episodes, meaning that his cabinet was still developing when the work was going on Help Wanted.
Good morning, Krusty Crew!
What would you like to order, Patrick?
One Krabby Patty, please!
For me, this episode is the greatest cartoon introduction I have ever watched. It's short and simple, given all the important information in just 8 minutes. We saw a few different locations, met all of the show's main cast, and even saw an important element of SpongeBob's story. So his employment with the Krusty Krabs was never a mystery. We all know Patrick. Usually he spends his day lying under the rock, watching TV or sleeping. However, it's not the case for some rare episodes, when he gets an opportunity to work at the Krusty Krabs. Usually, Patrick is used as a cheap labor force, and sometimes it gets hilarious. So let's try to review such unique episodes from a new perspective. The first time we see him employed at the Krusty Krabs is in Season 1, episode Ark, when SpongeBob and Patrick are playing a treasure board game in the empty Krusty Krabs, and Mr. Krabs decides to join them.
All right, lads. Looks like you've shanghaied me. My turn. 5.
When Patrick gets the move, he must send someone to the jail, and he picks Mr. Krabs.
It's off to jail for you, Mr. Krabs.
He gets angry with Patrick's decision and decides to fire him. However, Patrick doesn't work at the restaurant, so he applies him to the Krusty Crew just for a few seconds and then immediately fires him.
Patrick, you're fired. But I don't even work here. Would you like a job starting now? Why would I? You're fired.
Well, at least for a moment, Patrick was a part of the Krusty Krabs. The second time we see him working for Mr. Krabs is in episode Big Pink Loser of Season 2, where Patrick wants to win an award just like SpongeBob did many times before.
Patrick, if you want to win an award, you have to do something.
I want to defeat the giant monkey man and save the 9th dimension!
He suggests that Patrick do a small scene to get a trophy, like working in the Krusty Krabs.
The smallest you can think of.
A job at the Krusty Krab?
Yeah! I do things at work all the time.
Interestingly, he got the job for $50 per hour. No, it's not Patrick's earnings per hour, it's how much he has to pay per hour for the opportunity to work here.
It was sure nice of Mr. Krabs to give me a job.
And at $50 an hour, too. When I started working here, I had to pay Mr. Krabs $100 an hour.
He takes Squidward's place, but fails to do any work.
Hey, Squidward, guess who just got a job?
Guess who just quit?
Pick up order!
Do I get my award now?
It's also the episode with the iconic joke, "Is this the Krusty Krabs? No, this is Patrick."
Is this the Krusty Krab?
No, this is Patrick.
Not even mopping a floor is a possible task for him.
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
Keep trying, Patrick.
However, SpongeBob decides to give his friend the easiest job he can imagine. The only thing that Patrick has to do is to open a jar.
I'm never gonna get an award now.
Don't give up, Patrick. This time I've got something I know you can do. We're gonna open a jar.
Patrick, that's a pickle. Yes.
Patrick, that's a pickle.
Yes.
You need a jar.
Luckily, he manages to open the jar. That was a huge victory for Patrick.
Oh no, I broke it!
No, Patrick, you did it!
I did?
The sunset in the Bikini Bottom looks amazing. I wish I could see it on my own.
That was great, Patrick! You really got the hang of it!
Yeah! Remember when I had my hand up?
Patrick gets everything too close and decides that the only way to get an award is to be like SpongeBob in every way.
Never gonna forget this.
Patrick, you do exactly what I do, and you'll have an award in no time.
He gets annoyed with Patrick copying him and starts doing some weird stuff.
Oh!
Aha! You're copying me!
Interestingly, Squidward was really glad to get his job back, so I don't think he hates being a cashier at the Krusty Krabs.
Stop copying me!
There's no award for that!
Well, I guess it's safe to go in now.
As a result, Patrick gets the desired award for doing nothing longer than anyone else in the Bikini Bottom.
For doing absolutely nothing longer than anyone else, Patrick! This trophy's for you!
In the next episode of Season 3, Schoolyam returns. Patrick is given the job of collecting the heads of the customers in Squidward's 5-star restaurant, which is based on the Krusty Krabs.
Well, beggars can't be choosers. Can you take hats in a dignified and sophisticated manner?
You mean like a weenie? Okay.
However, everyone fails to do their work, and so does Patrick.
I said give it to me! Are you gonna hand it over or not? Don't you backsash me!
When Schoolyam comes to the restaurant, we can see only SpongeBob taking orders and doing some other stuff, because Patrick and Mr. Krabs are tied in the food storage not to ruin the evening.
How did you do all this?
It was easy, once I cleared my mind.
But what about Krabs and Patrick?
Taken care of.
He didn't do anything wrong this time, well, except for running out from the appetizer.
Run for your lives, everyone! It's the appetizer!
Next, we've got the Season 4 with 2 episodes. The first one is Bummer Vacation, in which SpongeBob has to go on a vacation, otherwise Mr. Krabs has to pay a fine for him.
Fry Cook SpongeBob SquarePants has accumulated too much vacation time, and if you don't take some time off, I'll have to pay a fine!
He decides to hire Patrick as a cheap labor force and a temporary replacement for SpongeBob.
Good morning, boss. Ready for my first day. Speaking of starfish, here's your replacement right here.
Of course, he doesn't even know what to do with a spatula.
Wow! It scratches backs too!
SpongeBob starts getting crazier since he doesn't know what to do on a vacation except to go to the Krusty Krabs, where he's not allowed to do anything.
SpongeBob, do we have to go through this again?
I'm here as a customer, not an employee. Just gonna grab a Krabby Patty with Patrick for lunch.
All right, but lunch only.
He tries to teach Patrick to cook Krabby Patties properly without putting a patty on a belly, but Mr. Krabs kicks him out of the restaurant.
Patrick, this is no way to treat a Krabby Patty.
SpongeBob! What did I tell you about working?
Previously, he couldn't even open a jar, and now he's a full-time worker at the Krusty Krabs. That's a huge progress.
Don't want to see hide nor tail of you till your vacation is over, you got that?
Yes, Mr. Krabs.
Well, boy, off you go!
SpongeBob thinks that Mr. Krabs sent him on a permanent vacation and substituted him with Patrick, so that's why he got mad at his best friend.
Unless it's a permanent vacation? That's it! Mr. Krabs wants to replace me.
For the first time in the show's history, we see that Patrick enjoys working.
Flipping Krabby Patties all day. Flipping Krusty Krab working. Patties Krab. That's a hard song to remember.
When Patrick comes home, he sees a crazy SpongeBob that wants to take back his job.
SpongeBob? Is that you?
I've been waiting for you, Patrick.
So his vacation has ended, and now everything is almost the same as it was before, except for Patrick, who has gone crazy because of SpongeBob.
Just get back to work!
Yippee! I happily acquiesce.
Eventually, he wasn't the most efficient worker, but probably wasn't a bad one, because the restaurant worked just as usual with Chef Patrick. This got me thinking that the big pink starfish isn't as dumb as one might imagine.
Greg, you can't do that!
Huh?
We need to turn up the grill to exactly 298 degrees Fahrenheit.
The second episode is called That Snow Lady, in which Patrick turns into Patricia to avoid being kicked out of a bikini bottom.
You're all set. Come on out, Patrick.
Everyone seems to like Patricia, even Mr. Krabs do, so he decides to hire him as a new waiter for the Krusty Crew without realizing that it's Patrick.
And who are you, my Rubenesque beauty?
That's Patricia.
Patricia starts getting too much attention from Krabs and Squidward, who fell in love with a new worker.
Hey, Patricia. I drew this for you. The likeness is uncanny, if I do say so myself.
Patricia, we may have only known each other for a short time now, but I feel like a special connection has been made.
When Stranger comes to the Krusty Krabs, he reveals that Patricia is actually a Patrick, making him realize that he doesn't need to hide his personality anymore, as no one wants to kick him out of the town.
Don't I know you from somewhere?
No.
That's it! Get out of town!
As a result, Patrick gets fired once again by Mr. Krabs.
I think I need to take a shower.
So let me get this straight. You're not a woman?
No.
Well, then you're fired.
And that was probably the weirdest time and reason when Patrick worked at the Krusty Krabs. In the next episode of Season 5, Pets No Pay, Patrick must work at the Krusty Krabs because he can't pay the bill for the Krabby Patties he consumed.
Sad.
It's your bill.
I don't have any money.
What? I thought you said you could pay for it.
Oh, I'm paying for it all right.
At first, Mr. Krabs gives him a task to mop the floor. However, Patrick is unable to do that.
All right, Patrick, if you're not gonna pay for your food with money, you're gonna pay with hard physical labor.
Instead, he starts eating the hand soup.
How are you? What in blazes did you do?
I accidentally tried the hand soap.
That's why Mr. Krabs decides to give him another task. This time he has to put the ice cubes into a barrel.
See these ice cube trays? I want you to put them in that bucket.
How do I do it?
Figure it out.
However, he fails once again.
What the? What are you doing?
Almost done, Mr. Krabs!
Eventually, he gets the last task of placing the trash bags into a trash machine.
All you gotta do is throw all these trash bags down the trash chute, like so. See?
Yep.
Good.
Everything goes fine until SpongeBob comes to help him.
Patrick, that's not a trash bag!
Why won't you go down?
He breaks the machine and then the Krusty Krabs explodes, destroying all the money Mr. Krabs saved in the restaurant. It was obviously a bad idea to give Patrick any kind of job.
Can I eat now?
This time, in the episode of Season 6, No Hat for Pet, Mr. Krabs hired Patrick to attract customers and tourists to the Krusty Krabs in exchange for the Krusty Hat.
How would you like a job, Patrick?
Oh boy, give me my hat!
You get your hat, but first you have to entice people into the restaurant.
However, Patrick can't even show the correct way to the Krusty Krabs, and instead attracts customers to the chum bucket.
They're walking right past him. Patrick, you need to get their attention, boy.
Okay.
Ouch!
Mr. Krabs tries to teach him to be creative in attracting the visitors, but that isn't a good idea at all.
That's enough, Patrick.
Eventually, Krabs finally gives him a crusty head, and he falls for an unknown reason.
What the heck? It pays to advertise.
The way to monetize Patrick is finally found, and customers pay money only to see the fallen Patrick.
It's official. I hate everyone.
However, at one point, it becomes boring, and no one wants to look at simply fallen Patrick anymore.
Why are you leaving?
This guy's act is stale. We crave excitement.
We crave excitement.
So that's why Mr. Krabs creates a more painful way to make Patrick fall, and the audience seems to enjoy it.
Okay, boy, let her rip. I'll be in the back counting me money.
The next day, Krabs creates a new fallen show, where Patrick has to fall from a springboard into a bucket of sea urchins.
See the part-time minimum wage employee fall from high atop this tower into this bucket of spiny sea urchins.
However, he takes off the hat, which prevents him from falling, and instead, Squidward accidentally falls from the board, and Patrick goes right after him after he wears the crusty hat.
Oh, thanks, Squidward! Oh, my hat! Gotcha!
No one likes the new show, and customers decide to take back their money.
So it was your hat that was making you fall the whole time.
In the end, Mr. Krabs fires Patrick once again.
Alright, you leave me no choice.
You giving me a raise?
Not even close. You're fired.
The episode wasn't funny at all for me, because it featured Patrick's disgusting torture. In the first season of the show, his jokes were really funny, and I still enjoy all of them. However, this Patrick isn't the same character from the first few seasons. He is just a dumb idiot and nothing more than that. And things are getting even more interesting as we move to the Season 8 episode Restraining SpongeBob, in which Mr. Krabs once again hires Patrick to solve his neighbor's problems. Squidward becomes tired of SpongeBob and gives him a restraining order, so SpongeBob can't come within 15 feet of Squidward, otherwise he goes to jail.
You may no longer speak to our client. Likewise, you may not come within 15 feet of Mr. Squidward.
His cash register was moved closer to the restroom, so they had to find another way to contact each other. And the answer for that question was Patrick.
No.
Please?
No.
Please?
No.
In the first few minutes, everything is fine, and Patrick's main purpose is to be a mediator between SpongeBob and Squidward. However, as time goes on, he starts to annoy Squidward even more than SpongeBob did.
Patrick! Patrick! Patrick!
When I tell you that he annoys Squidward, it's not an exaggeration.
How long do you want to live?
Later, a random fish comes with a sea berry pie, in which Squidward accidentally smashes his face, causing an allergic reaction that makes him swell.
Sea berries? I'm allergic to sea berries.
Patrick thinks it's a monster and starts fighting it.
Oh no! My two best friends are fighting!
Eventually, SpongeBob stops the fight, and Squidward cancels his restraining order with SpongeBob, but he issues a new one, including Patrick.
No, I'm releasing you from this order.
Really, Squidward?
And adding someone who's much more deserving.
The problem with this episode is not the idea itself, because it's great. It could have been a great episode if only it had been produced during the first few seasons, but the realization we see is disgusting. Once again, Patrick is shown as just a dumb idiot and nothing more. Well, starting from Season 5, the Patrick's episodes in the Krusty Krabs were really awful. However, the next episode from season 9 is like a breath of fresh air, because it was the first good Patrick's episode since the 4th season. Welcome to the 2 thumbs down. So this time, SpongeBob breaks his thumbs while showing a thumbs up symbol to everyone.
My thumbs! My thumbs! My thumbs!
Now he's unable to cook Krabby Patties and Mr. Krabs hires Patrick instead.
Oh, sorry, SpongeBob.
SpongeBob is glad to see his best friend as a new chef because it isn't a weird stranger taking his place.
Patrick, I'm glad it's you. Better than some weird stranger, right?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
When SpongeBob comes back, they have another thumb war to determine who gets the job.
I declare a thumb war!
Of course, SpongeBob wins the battle and takes his place back. Everyone is happy and even Patrick supports his friend.
SpongeBob wins!
This is the episode and season we all needed for a long time. Some kind of renaissance of SpongeBob. Probably because it was produced with the help of the Steven Hillenburg, the creator of the series. I really enjoyed watching that episode. They even created a song for it, which hasn't been seen for a long time. When I have some positive thoughts about the episode, I always want to share them with you, as they are an important part of the whole review.
Is this the Krusty Krab?
No, this is Patrick.
And the final episode comes from season 12, and it's so bad that I can't even watch it. Don't even try to watch Boss for a Day, because it is oversaturated with ADHD animation.
I'm out of ketchup!
We need utensils!
I ordered this to go!
And this time Mr. Krabs has an accident and leaves SpongeBob in charge of the Krusty Krabs.
Let's go.
Oh, he bit me!
He tries to take control of the restaurant, but SpongeBob isn't capable of controlling everything.
I'll take a Krabby Patty and hold the freaky smile.
He even hired Patrick to take his place of cooking Krabby Patties, and for the first time since the episode Big Pink Loser, he wears SpongeBob's clothes.
Patrick, could you bump the grill temperature up about half a degree?
Fine.
Again, Patrick is shown as a full idiot. However, in a few minutes, he can even cook a good Krabby Patty, but SpongeBob tells him he did everything wrong.
No, Patrick, we went over this! It goes bun, patty, cheese, pickles, lettuce, tomatoes, bun.
Patrick gets tired of his criticism and leaves the job and the restaurant.
That's it! This was supposed to be fun, but now it's the other thing!
I mean, the episode's plot isn't so bad. But again, the ADHD animation makes me want to quit watching the episode right after clicking on it. The problem with modern SpongeBob isn't even the bad plots of the episodes, because sometimes they are not so bad, but the characters' animation and the whole stupidity destroy the show for the audience older than 10 years old. Patrick has been shown to be stupid since the beginning of the show, and we can see it exactly in the Big Pink Loser.
Hey pal, you just blowing from stupid town?
Keep trying, Patrick.
However, in this episode, he isn't just a stupid starfish. He has a good characteristics besides being dumb.
And it was all because you showed me how to do it! I'm never gonna forget this.
Patrick, you do exactly what I do, and you'll have an award in no time.
From the first view, this video is just reviewing Patrick's appearances in the show as a part of Krusty Crew. However, if we look deeper, we can see that it shows the entire character and the atmosphere of the show. I want to say that Patrick is a mirror of SpongeBob SquarePants, and it shows the direction in which the show moves. Season 9 was a great example of how modern SpongeBob can be a good show and a great continuation of the Hillenburg's ideas and characters we all love so much that we still watch the episodes that are sometimes older than we are. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. Here are some other videos you can watch as well. The Reef Blower from Season 1 is the shortest episode of SpongeBob SquarePants and the only one without a single spoken word. So let's try to explore such a unique part of the show from a new perspective. The episode starts with a beautiful painting of the Conch Street combined with relaxing Hawaiian music. Although it lasts only a few seconds, it sets the mood for the entire episode. I wish I could visit this place, as it is so calm and charming. Squidward goes outside and spots a random shell on his entirely clean lawn. He thinks what to do about it and swipes it right into SpongeBob's yard. Without saying a single word, Squidward opens to us from his lazy side, thinking about the shell's future only for a couple of seconds. However, SpongeBob isn't glad to see the shell on his yard as well, and decides to swipe it out with the help of the Reef Blower. Interestingly, it is the first time we see SpongeBob's garage, which is one of the rarest locations of his home. From a single screenshot, we can see a huge room with a table and tool shelf. Just look at Squidward and his chill mood. This guy knew something about having a good time, because in the later seasons we won't see such a relaxed Squidward again. I don't know, he's just giving me a good vibe. That's how I really want to feel myself sometimes, lying outside and thinking how good the life actually is. Anyway, let's come back to reality. SpongeBob tries to blow it away, but fails many times, and when he finally does it, the shell lands on Squidward, who is having a lunch. He tries to blow the sand away from his salad, making a funny scene once again. The episodes with the Reef Blower are my favorite ones. I don't know why didn't they use it more throughout the show's first seasons, as the concept of this scene is really great.
Hey, you got the same reef blower as me! Tag, you're in!
The second great episode that includes lots of Reef Blower scenes is Squidville. I made a video about exploring it from a new perspective, so you can go and watch it.
How could playing with one of those oversized hair dryers possibly be fun?
Like this!
Dryers like this!
Anyway, the only word that is shown in the episode is you. It appears when SpongeBob realizes that sand landed on his lawn, so he needs to suck it into a reef blower. However, this action breaks it, so SpongeBob has to fix the machine. Oh, and here is the frame with some well-drawn corals. After he fixes the reef blower, it starts sucking up the entire ocean, and now we can see the bikini bottom without water. It's so grey and uncomfortable. As a result, SpongeBob gets his lawn entirely clean. Meanwhile, Squidward and Patrick are stuck with a ton of sand on their yards and houses. It's not what Squidward expected to see after throwing a shell on SpongeBob's lawn. Yeah, it's not the best episode of all time, but it's definitely a great episode that deserves your attention. It's a bit less than 3 minutes long, but in such a short period of time, we witnessed a great story with a good concept and a great life lesson. Without saying a single word, we understood all the emotions and motifs of our favorite characters. In less than 180 seconds, we see Squidward lying on a hammock, eating outside, and being pressed by a pile of sand. What impressed me the most was the combination of the fast pace, where every second plays an important role, and the chill vibe of the entire episode. This episode can easily describe the entire season and the atmosphere it provides.